told by Tom Aspinall that he has a fight, that he can't say who it is, but he can say who it's not, and that it's not Jon Jones. Now, this isn't an official announcement made by the UFC, and generally if the UFC got to the spot with Jon Jones, the spot where in the office they know we're not going to make the fight, we're not even trying anymore, they move on, and in this case they would go to Surreal. And that's supposed to be like the big dark secret, that if it's not Jones versus Tom, that it's Tom versus who, the answer is Surreal. But whether that's supposed to remain a secret or not, Tom is revealing for us that that's the step that we're at. He didn't say the name Surreal, but he said we're moving on absence of Jones. If the office was to that point, I don't believe that the office would keep that quiet. I believe the office would have first come out publicly and said, Jon had demands that were crazy. We met those demands. He then refused the fight. I believe they would come out and say that, and they would let it simmer for just a minute, and they would see if public opinion and pressure could sway Jon into doing a contest that he otherwise wouldn't have. That, I believe, is how they would do it. After they did that and after they simmered, you're going to have three options. Option number one, vacate. Now, they can force Jon to vacate. It's a way where you call a guy and you let him know you're going to be fired, but you give him a breather so he can turn in his resignation. This is a big deal to some fighters. Daniel Cormier was about to be stripped by Dana White. He got the word he was going to be stripped, and Daniel burst onto the Ariel Helwani show to announce that he's relinquishing the belt. That small word to these artists, it's a big deal to them. It was a big deal to Daniel. Daniel wanted to vacate. He did not want to be stripped. I believe on Jon Jones, number two here, which is the UFC could strip him. I believe on stripping Jon Jones that Jon would rather vacate. I believe that the UFC used this word. If they said, okay, Jon, but let us explain to you what this means. You saying that you won't do the fight means we have still got to get on with the belt. And you're holding it, which means we got to take the belt. And if they took the belt, that would instantly anoint Tom Aspinall to undisputed champion. Tom would not have to do his next fight, in which the one I believe he's going to do against Ciryl Gane. He would not have to do that. The first bell would not have to ring. They have made athletes world champion before with phone calls. I'll go back to Daniel Cormier, but Daniel Cormier lost a world championship. He was on a vacation, completely depressed. He gets a call on vacation that he is now the undisputed champion. Jon had failed a drug test. Daniel got the belt back without ever throwing a punch. Daniel was plenty happy with that. He just wanted to be champion. Aspinall's in the same boat. So many people say, well, he's not going to want to win it that way. That's all in your mind. Well, I know you didn't want it to happen this way, but that's all in your mind. Erin Blanchfield does not care that Macy Barber didn't get in the ring. She just wanted to move past her. I mean, just so you know, that whole, well, it's not how I wanted it, and it's not how I envisioned it, that's in a reporter's mind. The athlete does not care. There's a few ways to become champion. You got a knockout, you got a decision, you got a TKO, you got a disqualification. The athlete doesn't care, just so you understand that. But Jon is not somebody that is likely to vacate. He's likely to say, no, I haven't been beat. I'll fight anybody. Tom's not ready. Tom's just simply not ready for me. So go get him ready. When he's ready, come see me. But I worry we can't get to this point, and so does Matt Brown. Matt Brown talked about this. He talked about it, Jon overplaying his hand. And that's what brings us down to being stripped. And if the UFC has in fact decided to move on from Tom and Jon, which is information right now I take very tongue-in-cheek. I'm not bullish that that is what happened. But there is things and sources I have that's starting to force me to at least pay attention to the idea that this could be coming. Tom versus Ciryl for the undisputed title. I'm being forced to believe could be coming. And then ultimately, you've got the easiest way, guys. These are hard. These are hard. This is a vicious word. This is hard to make up with somebody afterwards. This is tough stuff right here. This is tough to come back. This is tough to feel welcomed to come back. This is a firing. But then you have the final option, which most people aren't considering. This one's very at peace. This one is how a sport amongst gentlemen is played. That Jon would go out there and Jon would defend the belt. And Jon is saying, I'll defend against someone else. Tom has not got the lists of legends on his resume like I do. So I can either sit out and do nothing, and you can go get Tom some victories to make him impressive to me, or you can give me someone else. And that's where the problem lies. That's where the problem in Jon's logic lies. There isn't somebody else. Nobody has a more beautiful resume than Tom. Surreal would be next in line, but Jon and Surreal have already fought. Volkov versus Jon is not the fight they're going to make right now. Almeida versus Jon is not the fight they're going to make right now. It's just Aspinall for Jon. But if we get to Aspinall, that means number 2 and or number 1 has already taken place.